Today, let's continue our track with simple ways for maintenance, and we shall speak again today about the knowledge transfer. So, how to create a seamless knowledge transfer? Why we need a seamless knowledge transfer? Because that's how to make a healthy workplace. So, how to create it and why? That's what we are going to see today. So, we will offer you 4 steps today. If you follow them, you will be on the track to start ensuring that there is seamless knowledge transfer in your workplace. So first thing is that before these 4 steps that we need to make an intention that we intend to create a seamless data, info and knowledge flow to my team, and you need to start by yourself. If you remember from the last talk or from the last video that many civilizations failed to pass their knowledge to us, and this failure to pass their knowledge made us starting our technology, our enhancement, or our innovations almost from scratch a couple of 100 years ago. But they were on a very advanced level of technology thousands of years ago. But we couldn't have the chance to build upon this technology they had reached because they were hiding this technology for 2 reasons mainly, and they have valid reason for this, but let's just say that we didn't get the benefit out of it. So the first reason was that the knowledge itself was scarce. That's one point, and also so you don't find the knowledge with many people, and there was a difficulty to transfer the knowledge to other people. So there were limited ways of knowledge transfer. The other reason, they were afraid that this knowledge will reach their enemies, or it will reach the public, and so they will lose their superiority. You know, when you have some piece of knowledge, you can do something special, nobody else can do it, then you feel some superiority, and people will come to you for guidance. They will consider you someone of a higher level because you are superior with this knowledge, or you have superiority because you have this knowledge that they don't have. So, and for these 2 pieces of information, or these 2 constraints, are not valid today, but unfortunately we had inherited them in our subconscious mind, and still many people inside our communities, inside our workplace, deal in the same way. They don't like to spread the knowledge they know and to transfer to others because they are afraid for these 2 reasons. So to facilitate the knowledge transfer, first we need to make the data and the information available. So is there a difference between data, information and knowledge? Yes, and experience also. Those are 4 different terms that we need to understand them so we know what we are going to do. But to start with, we should understand how to make the resources of this data and information available for everyone, and knowledge will come after that with time. Even if you make the data and information available, you will not find many people willing to grasp this knowledge, and even you will not many people interested in understanding or doing their homework with the knowledge and data, with the information and data they collect. Okay, so even if it is open, if it is available, not everyone will come to catch it. And if you can imagine, many people download many PDFs, many manuals, many documentation, many books on their computers. The computers are full, but actually they gain nothing from it. So it's even if people find the data or the information, but they don't make use of it. So we need to have the data and the information available, and then to make use of it. So what is the difference between the data and the information? Data simply is plain fact. So for example, if you are in the field of maintenance, so when you receive a data that the equipment will stop on this date at this time, so you can start scheduling some maintenance for it. That's some data, piece of data so far, that the equipment will stop for this amount of time at this date. When you go to your manuals, or when you go to your documents, or when you go to software program, or whatever you are having your maintenance tasks available in, you will find a list of the tasks that need to be done for this machine. This you can consider also as data. But you should keep in mind that this data is the result of somebody else's work, maybe the planners, the manufacturer, and so on. So if it is only data for you for now, it is a result of the experience and the knowledge and the information gathered by the manufacturer and the planner. So, but when it comes to you that you will work upon it, it's starting from its 0 level as only data. So data is plain facts, or plain numbers, or plain something you are having that you are going to build upon. When you structure this data so you can make it of use, for example, so now you have the machine, you link the maintenance task to the machines, to the time, to the teams, you plan it for the coming 1 month or 3 months based on the schedule you received, and then you assign the teams, and then you put it in the backlog, and then you generate work orders with the necessary documentation and so on. Now, this is some information that is structured data. It's organized and structured data, and then anybody who have the knowledge to access this information, or the knowledge and awareness that this information exists and what he can do with it. So that's knowledge. So what to do with the information, the structured data and so on. Even the one who is transferring the data into information, you have the knowledge, because you are transferring the data into information. You have the knowledge to transfer the data to information, to make use of the information and to get planned for it and to get prepared for it. This, you have the knowledge to get use of this data. So the knowledge is something you build with time. You don't, even if you pass some conclusions to your team with the information, when you see the red mark, you do this. When you see the green mark, you do this. Comprehending this information will create the knowledge, their own knowledge, their own heritage of knowledge. So you, even if you pass your knowledge to the others, they need to comprehend it to make it their own knowledge, and then they can transfer it again. But practicing the knowledge in the field and reaching to a conclusion that the data, information, and knowledge we had collected so far or had gained so far is correct or wrong and needs to be modified, or you need to make a feedback that we need to modify it and so on, that's what we call the experience. So now you need to understand the difference between data, which is plain facts, and then information, which is structured data so we can use it, and then knowledge, which is knowing what is the function of this information that we had gathered, or the data that we had gathered, and how to use it. That's your knowledge, and you build it with time. And when you practice what information you had collected, that's when you reach to the experience, and knowledge and experience comes with time. Okay. For example, you have one task on your schedule that you need to change some bearing, and this month, and on the schedule after 3 months you need to change the coupling, or vice versa. Anyhow, you need to dismantle the motor or dismantle the gearbox, and then to remove the coupling, and then to remove the bearing and so on. So if you did it early, 2 months, then you minimize the stoppage of the equipment during the coming weeks or during the coming months. You minimize the schedule for the other stoppage. So if you mix these two together and mix them together, because anyhow you will dismantle the motor, you will dismantle the gearbox, you will dismantle the coupling, and till you reach the bearing. So if you make both activities together, the coupling and the bearing, then you will gain time. You will save time for the organization, then you will provide the organization with more productive time, and that is counted. Okay, so that's because you have the knowledge about the tasks and what tasks can be done together and what tasks is impossible to be done together or will jeopardize the work of each team if 2 teams are working together on the same machine. Okay, so after that you need to make sure you had collected the data, structured it, and so on. It came to an information. It should be available for your team, especially for the newcomers of the team. They need to know where is the data, how to reach the data, how to know the schedules, how to know the information, how to find the manuals, how to find the documents, how to find the data itself. Because manuals and documents and so on, for them is data. It's a structured data, so it includes information, but that's of the manufacturer. Unless you make them, they make this data available for them to use. So they have linking the documents with the equipment, with the spare parts that are going to use, and so on. So it's not no more information for them. It's only data. So you have a manual with a lot of data inside. But how to do it? If you structure this in checklists and in some work orders and so on, then it's information that they can use of it. But they need some knowledge to know how to use this information, which they will, even if you transfer to them, they will gain it with time. Okay. So the target is usually to make an easy. That's what's very important. That's a keyword, easy. So we know we pass the data, the information, and the knowledge, so we can make easy usage of them. So in a way that we can make easy usage of them. If, for example, if you put that when this equipment has this alarm, you need to use this spare part with this ID. Now that's very good. So, but how to find this spare part with this ID if the spare parts store is not arranged and the parts are not arranged on shelves in a way that I can reach it? It will not be easy to reach it. So make it available for them, the data, the information, and passing them the knowledge to comprehend it, it needs some practices and it needs to be easy to use. That's a key word. So we had spoken about the knowledge, the data, the information, the knowledge, and the experience is when you put all of this together on the ground. So how to pass this information and to my team? The first thing is you need to prepare this documentation and information to make it ready. What documentation and you need to prepare it? We had comprehended this in our training, so you can reach it in the links in our video. That's Secrets of Building a Maintenance Program. That's great, and we had also some chats about this either in on the YouTube channel or on our blog, so you can reach it. So the first step is to make the documentation available so they can reach the information to how what to do. They can reach it through the documentation, so you need to make it available. What documentation you need, you can find it in details in our either on our blog or in our trainings in more detailed way. And then the next step is to create an initiation for your maintenance. So they need to know how this data or using this data will be triggered. What will trigger the applying of this maintenance activity? What will trigger the usage of this the documentation or the usage of this data? What will trigger the collecting of the data and so on. So also building the triggers, we had covered it in our maintenance. It's the Secrets of Maintenance Program. It's in Arabic and English. After that, you need to create a belief mentality. So the belief mentality is that the people need to believe that they can gain from maintaining the data and the information and working with them and adding to them and updating them and giving feedback about them and building up their knowledge and experience. So they need to have a belief that this will be an added value to them and to the organization and to the workplace and so on. By making this, if this is not the habit or the common that you are doing in your workplace, you can simply shift by using a pilot area and then using a pioneer team and then give a model example, and then they will create the belief. Because some people, they believe only when they catch it with their hands, when they touch it. They don't believe with only seeing or imagining or so on. They need to believe when they touch it or when they catch the thing with their hands, when it's a reality. Before it is a reality, they don't believe it. After you make all these steps, you will find the tendency in some of the teams to follow what you are doing, and some part of the teams, they are resisting what you are doing and they don't like it. Why and why not and so on. We will cover this in a coming video. So far you need to prepare yourself with preparing the documentations. You make an easy way for initiation, for the recording the maintenance feedback and for using it, and to make it an easy, of course. And you need to select a pilot area with pioneer members team to apply this arrangement of the data, information, and passing the knowledge, and making an easy way to record and retrieve the data back. And the last step, or the fourth step here, you need to accept the different responses from your team and to know how to handle each team alone. So you can join our training. Even you can drop us a line directly, or you can join our consultancy or coaching sessions on Fiverr. You find all the links in the description box together with the link for this article. See you in coming videos with more insights from simple ways for maintenance.